Hey everybody, it's Angel from Halo Inspirations. We give you inspirations to help you spread beauty and joy through your quilting journey. Happy hump day. Whoop whoop. Happy fantabulous Scrappy Stars Wednesday, right? Yay. So we did drop a pattern and a video. Yes, it was a little late. I had a lot of challenges. And notice I'm by myself here at Halo, but we do have Sherry watching our back. Thank you, Sherry. Thank you so much. Just want to put that out there. Hey there. I want to say hello to anybody who's come in. We have Sherry, of course. She says, hello, everybody. Pug Mama is in the house. Yay. Pug Mama's in. Hey there, Tam. Tam is my daughter, and she is here. I want to say, oh, yep, my mom is in the house. That's Sharon Coy, if anybody's wondering. That is my mother. And that's what we got so far. If I missed you, let me know. I'm reading the chat. And of course, Sherry's going to keep me updated if I don't see something. All right. Thank you, Sherry. Sherry did drop the blog both on Facebook and YouTube for block 9. All right. So block 9, as a recap, is a snail tail. I love this block. I really love this block. It's one of my favorites. I want to make a whole quilt with one because I love the swirls and I like how they all come together when you do a whole quilt. I think it's fantabulous. Honestly, it is fantabulous block. Now, I dropped the pattern. I did use, as discussed in the video, It's So Emma pads, and I'm going to tell you, it looks intimidating. It's not hard, okay? It's just a lot of pieces. The pattern I dropped, I did write for the 6-inch block, traditionally pieced. I will tell you guys, there is a lot of bias because we have a square, okay? And then you cut them in half. That's bias. That can be challenging for people. So if anybody's wondering, I did do this in a video, but I'm going to do it again. I'm going to ruin some fabric. Don't kill me. But on one direction, we have a little bit of give, okay? In another direction, it's really tight. There's no give. This is actually parallel to the selvage, okay? Straight down parallel to it. No give, okay? This has a little give, but here's the bias. Look how super stretchy that is. Now, I just ruined this block, okay? But that's okay, because I'm going to cut it down with you guys. Hey there, Becky. Glad to see you. Glad to see you. Glad to see you here. Happy hump day. Whoop, whoop. Okay, so when we talk about bias, when you sew things together with bias, you have to be super careful not to pull it because it will distort the block. And you have to be super careful when you press because you don't want to distort the block because it is super stretchy. And definitely do not use steam because it will add to the chaos. So that's why, traditionally piecing has a lot of these, lots. Yes, we still have them when we're foundation paper piecing because we cut them down into triangles, but you're putting them on a piece of paper and you're getting it stitched down and it's bigger than it needs to be. So it's okay with a little distortion. It's okay to have a little havoc going around it because we cut it down. So that's why I highly encourage you. It looks intimidating. There are so many pieces. It really does look intimidating, but it's not. I'm going to be real with you guys. It's not super difficult, okay? As far as just add the pieces and cut. Add the pieces and cut. It's really not that difficult. I highly encourage to try foundation paper piecing with this particular pattern. Now, it's interesting because It's So Emma, when they did this snail trail, you traditionally piece the center and it's really big. You're going to waste. You will. And you got to get it centered. And you got to get those, watch the video. But you got to make sure your seams are lined up because I will tell you guys, having the center right is, pretty good because it's the center focus of the swirl, okay? So if it's off, it's going to be noticeable. Other things you can hide. That part is probably one of two of the most important. Okay. The other side of being important is, if you will notice, well, I'll pull you under and I'll show you this block. I don't think you can tell far away. I don't know. I'll have to watch the replay myself. But I'm learning a new machine, so I'm having some challenges with it as far as the 1/4 inch. And when you do foundation paper piecing, it's a real 1/4 inch, and I don't sew with a real 1/4 inch. So I'm still working out. This is a terrible time to have a new machine when you're doing a quilt along. Terrible time. But I'm having a little bit of struggles getting the points just right. And it's not the paper. It's not the machine. It's not the pattern. It's me. Okay. And I'm okay with this block. I think it looks absolutely amazing, personally. But I do see the challenge that I'm having working with a new machine. Okay. So that is the second part that's kind of important. And I can talk about that a little bit more in just a second when I bring you underneath. So my mom says, love that block. I do too. This, and y'all, if you haven't checked out, I hope this works out. If you haven't checked out Vicki Holloway, so this is a 6 inch finished in the quilt. She's doing 4. Okay. So she also used It's So Emma papers, and her block is so super cute. You have to check it out. Love the fabric choice that she made. It just turned out really super cute. So you have to check out Vicki Holloway. You can see her on YouTube as My Creative Corner 3. She has a website. She has a YouTube under that name. And then her Facebook group is My Creative Corner 3. She has posted this block everywhere. And on Instagram, she is Vicki Holloway, all one word. Okay. And she's posted it there too. It's everywhere. Her block is so cute. Now, what you can't tell, it looks the same size because you're just getting a picture and there's nothing to contrast and compare. She is going to be coming out and seeing her daughter, who lives about 45 minutes or so from me, for the holidays. Her and her husband are traveling, and if she has a chance, she's bringing her blocks and she's going to come out and stop at the shop. Man, would it not be good if I can get her on video? Yeah. I love Vicki. Love her. I don't know if she'll have time. I am so sorry. I don't know if she'll have time for that, but she's definitely bringing her blocks if she has time to even stop at the shop. And what I want to do is actually take pictures that show you the size difference, because you can't tell when they're separated. So I'm hoping that she has time, and man, it would be really good if she has time enough to do a video. Just saying. Oh, so Sherry says she saw Vicki's block and it was super cute. It is really, really super cute. She did an amazing job on it. And bless her heart, I think she had the norovirus. She got really sick. So she ended up making it through, and she's all healthy now, and everything's well. And her block turned out so cute. You got to see it. You really do got to see it, because she did an amazing job. Hopefully, though, when she stops in, or if she can stop in on her visit to her daughter, we will have something for you to compare and contrast. I'm crossing my fingers and toes and legs and arms and, maybe even a piece of hair, because for you to see the difference will be dramatic. My big blocks with the Sawtooth Star end at 12.5, Hers end at 8.5. In the center is 6-inch. Hers are 4. It's dramatic. That's 2 inches different. So, any rate, I wanted to put that out there. Hey there, Quimby. Almost made it. No, you did make it. What are you talking about? You did make it. Okay, so I decided when I dropped the video, I want to show y'all how to do a low waist. I'll even tell you how to do a no waist, but it ain't pretty. I would not suggest a no waist method with foundation paper piecing. But I did say I would show y'all the low waist method. And I want to do that at the live. I decided to take it out of the video today because I didn't want the video to be, it's already long. I mean, it's 38 minutes and that doesn't seem long, but I've sped up a lot of stuff. I wanted y'all to see, in case somebody's new, what is happening, but at the same time, I wanted to condense it because we could stitch all day long. Just saying. So I want to talk about the low waist method in this video. And if you happen to have a pattern of a foundation paper piecing and they don't use the low waist method, or they decide to, or you have lost the pattern, how you can make this work. So I don't know what block this is. I've already cut it all up, so I don't know what block it is. Let me see. Let me see if I can figure it out. No, I can't. I don't know what block it is, but I want to show you the process, if that's okay with you guys. All right. And I went back and forth with a lot of this, so this will be fun. All right. Let me... And all of a sudden my nose started to run and be sneezy. I don't know what that's about, but, you know, bear with it. Okay. Now, I will tell you my cutting table is a hot mess because I'm working. And if anything, I will tell you, I make a mess when I work, okay? So, you're going to see all kinds of stuff out here, but, you know, we're going to have fun. So, I'm going to move you over. Oh my gosh, so Vicky's in the house. Vicky, you're here! Yay! Oh my gosh, your block is so cute. Before I transition. So Vicky's in the house and she says she's going to try and do her hair. If you have time, no pressure, honestly. We will just take pictures if need be. But if you have time, it'd be really good if we can do a video. I think it'd be super fun. So at any rate, Vicky's in the house. Anybody has any questions for Vicky? Because she does the 4-inch. So it's a whole different animal when you make these little blocks. 4 inches. 4 inches, guys. She is in the house. So if you have any questions, I would drop them. All right. Let me go ahead and transition over to my cutting table. Okay, so as you see, I have one of my foundation paper piecing. I don't know which one it is. I'm so sorry. But if you notice that row B and row C were the same. Okay. And this is cut with the 1/4 inch around it just because that's what I would have done to piece these things together. And then this one, I have cut several different pieces out, okay? So, bear with me. You're going to hear the heat kick on. You know, it's kind of cool. So, my mom did say, hello, Vicky. Okay, so if you are working with a foundation paper piecing pattern and you either lost the instructions or they cut like super big and you want to use a low waist method, I would send the pattern through your printer and put it on regular paper. And then I would cut out all the pieces. So that's what I'm demonstrating here. I actually printed this on regular paper and I started to cut the pieces. So we have B3 here, which I will tell you, it would be the same numbers and letters on my pattern, except I just use the same piece of paper. So this would be B4, B3, etc. This particular block had the same exact numbers for row B and C, okay? And I just want to use a low waist method. So I got lots of scrippy scraps. This is the one that I was sharing, the bias edge, that I destroyed this block, right? Yeah. That's your bias. See, look at that. Look at that stretch. Okay. This is ruined. I could use it because I'm going to cut it down, but it's ruined. All right. So I just have scrippy scraps. Now you could have a piece of paper, a piece of fabric, you know, it could be a block, it could be a charm square, it could be a layer cake, whatever it is, okay? I'm just using scrippy scraps because I encourage people to use their scraps for all kinds of things, okay? And I don't know what color is supposed to be what. I'm just demonstrating to you how to use the low waist method within foundation paper piecing. If you want to use a low waist and they didn't write that way, or you lost the cutting instructions, okay? So I've cut this B3 triangle out. It's just a triangle. Now, remember, with foundation paper piecing, all the letters and all the lines are going to be what we stitch on, and the opposite side is exactly, it's our fabric, right? And we put the fabric on opposite from, I hope I don't confuse anybody, from what we have facing this direction. Okay. So what I will tell you, bottom line is, you want to line up your pieces. Once you have them all cut out, including this one, okay, this is one too. I'll just cut it up for you. So you want to put it down on a piece of paper, okay? And you want the paper to have the numbers or letters, whatever they use, to be facing you. And then my fabric is wrong side facing up. Okay? Wrong side facing up. Now, I kind of want to, the low waist method, you would actually cut a 1/4 inch all the way around. But let me tell you, if you do that, you're going to have to be perfect when you put it on the pattern. And ain't nobody got time for that. But we do have a low waist method. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just basically trace the triangle. And I don't know, Vicki, if you do this too. Okay. All right, so I've traced it. This is not going to be part of my pattern. This is the extra piece that I printed and I cut it all up, okay? So I've traced this triangle. Now this is a low waist method because it could have been on a piece of, you know, it could have been on a piece of scrap or a 5-inch charm or, you know, something that I have available. All right. Now, if we wanted to be super perfect, we would just cut a 1/4 inch. And you can use scissors for this. Trust me. I just don't have any scissors available to me. So I'm just going to cut around it. Now, I'm not going to do a 1/4 inch because I want extra. I want a little bit extra. That's why I say it's the low waist method and not the no waist method. The no waist would be exact, but man, you have to line that fabric up super awesome and be right on point. And when we do foundation paper piecing, that's part of the joy of it, is that we don't have to be exactly perfect. Okay, so I'm not going to cut a 1/4 inch away. Okay, let me put that down for a second. That would be a 1/4 inch. I want to go a little bigger. That's a 1/4 inch. I keep doing a 1/4 inch. Okay, so I'm going to cut this. Stand up for a minute. All right. So notice, see how big I am? To be real with you, it's so hard for me. I'm a precision piecer, so it's really hard for me not to be exact. It's really hard. But I'm just going to just chop some up. And like I said, it would work better if I had a pair of scissors, because then you just cut it. Okay, I'm just going to leave it like that. All right, so now we're going to pretend this says C3 here, because isn't that what I cut? Yeah, B3. I mean, sorry, we're going to say it says B3. Okay, there we go. So we know we've already done C4. Oh, let's just do C4. Okay, so we can, ooh, that's not going to work, is it? And why isn't that going to work? Because look how close that is. Look how close. Okay, so I'm going to take another piece, a different color. All right. There we go. Look at that. See how much? Okay, so we went the wrong side. And I'm going to do bigger than a 1/4 inch. You will have some waste. And I'm not even going to trace this one. Look. Because it's a square. So I feel very comfortable. You could definitely trace it. All right. Doesn't have to be pretty. Now, I do want to get rid of these. Well, no, I won't. All right. So now we have block 4. And then we also cut, where the heck did it go? Block B3. We're going to pretend this is B4. All right. So if I were doing B4, okay, remember we do fold on the line, okay? This would be right sides together. I'd glue it down and I would cut with my 1/4 inch seam a nice straight line. Okay? I'm going backwards, I know. All right. So now I have my straight line with it and it was glued. So now B4 is done and it'll clean up as we go along. B3 is on an angle. We did cut it out with the wrong side. facing up. Okay. Oh, and I did that the opposite way, come to think of it. Okay. Oh, do you all notice? I did not do that right. All right, let's get another piece. Wrong side facing up. We need to make sure that it's facing the correct direction. I'm going to trace this out. My fabric is wrong side up. All right. All right. Now I'm just going to, like I was doing scissors, I would be more precise if I'm trying to save fabric. All right. So now, just like any other foundation paper piecing, I'm going to attach, we're going to pretend this is one to two, right? So I want the wrong side facing up. I already folded it. Of course, I think I folded it the wrong direction. No, I didn't. Hold on. Give me a hot minute. Yep. Okay. So if you'll look, I'm going to glue this down. It would actually be on a piece of fabric, but we're going to glue it down. I have it folded in half. I don't even have a 1/4 inch because I'm playing. Cut that up. And I'm going to stitch here to here. And when I fold it over, it will be right side facing up. Okay? And cover everything that I need. Okay? So, that is how we do the low waist method. We have Ann Philbeck in the house. Glad to see you. Sherlock, you're listening while cutting potatoes and chicken. Make a roasted potatoes and cordon bleu for dinner. My gosh, who doesn't love that? So, low waist method, guys. Use your fabrics, and you can, now see, I cut that a little too short. See that? But you do cut, you don't need a pattern when you, as far as cutting instructions, you don't need this. You have your own squares, okay? You have your very own, or triangles, or whatever shape you have. You literally cut them out and trace them, and that will enable you to get the size that you need. Just make sure you cut them bigger. That's too thin. You want to be bigger than a 1/4 inch, but you don't have to go super crazy, okay? And that will allow you to build your blocks. Actually, I think to be correct for your pattern piecing. Okay, so that's the low waist method, is taking your pattern and cutting it all up, and then cutting pieces You could get super crazy and do a 1/4 inch from every side, but you're going to have to line this up perfectly. And because we like to give ourselves a little oomph, I would encourage you to cut them a little bigger than a 1/4 inch, okay? And then you'll be able to stitch them and sew them with a low waist method, because if you watch the video, this little tiny square was huge in the video. Huge. And we ended up cutting a lot off. We don't have to do that with the low waist method. You won't waste as much fabric. All right, last thing, I hope that made sense and I hope I didn't confuse anybody. The last thing I wanted to talk about, and if you're confused, you can email me, we'll have a discussion, and I'll do a Zoom with you, okay? So, what I will mention, so I told you I'm having a little struggle with the new machine because I'm trying to figure it all out. One of the things to pay attention to, when I did the video, I paid attention to the center, and making sure that I wasn't cutting this line. However, if you will think about this, right here is a 1/4 inch. Okay. See? That's a 1/4 inch from the point to the outside line that we trim to. So it's kind of important that you pay attention to that, so that when you stitch these things together, the point will be closer in. Same thing with the flying geese. I'm using Itso Emma papers now. Same thing. And I don't sew with a 1/4 inch. Now you can, if you zoom in on YouTube, if you pay attention to this point right here when you're stitching, you can get super close on top, which will help pull this in closer, okay? But the same thing goes for this. I didn't care at that time, and I'm still learning this machine, so I can only deal with one thing at a time, okay? I do got to figure it out, honestly. But that's where these are super floating. They're not normal. They're super floating. Like, they're not just floating, they're like really floating. And it's because I didn't pay attention to the 1/4 inch being lined up at the point, and then I'm not sewing with a real 1/4 inch, so I have to adjust for that. I'm happy with this block. I think it's super gorgeous. I wouldn't change anything. But if I really wanted to be super perfect, then we have to pay attention to how we cut and how we sew. Let's see if I don't know if you'll be able to see this. Oh yeah. I don't know that you'll be able to see this, but let's see. I don't know where my seam ripper is. Okay. So, the point for this, where the two seams come together, is right there. It's right here, guys. Right here. Okay? My stitch line is way up here. You see the difference? Whoop, let me do that again. That's where they come together. That's where it is a stitch line. I am way up, okay? Way up. So I will tell you, I cut too far, number one. I did not pay attention to where they met. I did not pay attention to this distance, okay? Between here and there. That is a 1/4 inch. I should have paid attention to that. That was my first mistake. And then also with the new machine, I'm not stitching a real 1/4 inch. I'm stitching a scant. So that will affect it also. And you can only see one part at a time. I'm sending it through like this, so I'm only seeing this side of it. I'm not seeing this side of it. So poke a pin or pay attention to where you're cutting. All right. But it still turned out super cute, I think. I'm super loving this. All right. That's what I have. I'm going to switch screens, I hope. Yep. All right. So, low waist method. You can cut your pieces out, trace around them, and then cut bigger, but not so much bigger. You don't have to have, 1.5 inches bigger than required. Some patterns will write bigger, and it's good because it gives you that flexibility to be off with foundation paper piecing. But if you really want a low waist method, you can cut those things out and trace them and then cut your own, and just making sure you're bigger everywhere around and not get skinny. Oh, see, there we go. Vicky said she did the poke a pin method. Poke a pin works. And Sherry says a little room for error is always better. Absolutely. But, oh, just so you know, Sherry, Sherry says hello. All right, so yes. So she's doing the 4-inch method. Putting her flying geese on, she used the poke a pin method. I don't like the poke a pin method. I'm just going to sew it. But it works. It does work. And I did share that in a video. I want to say it was block 8 last week. So at any rate, that's what I had for today. And I hope this was helpful. Let me know if I confused you about the low waist method. I probably will do its own video because then I can make sure that I'm focused and making sense. When you do things live, it's like, I can't see you. I can't see that you have deer in headlights. If you're sitting down and you're teaching with somebody or you're working with a friend and you're explaining something, you can see body language, facial expressions. You can see where whatever you said just did not make sense. I can't see that from you guys. So I hope I didn't confuse anybody. I honestly think I'll do that as a own video. And I'll work with one of the patterns that I did. Oh. So Sherry did say, would love if you did a video on low waist. Okay. I think it's a better idea. I just wanted to come out in case it made sense. Because there's a lot of people that, one of the things about foundation paper piecing is it got a huge negative rap on being so wasteful. It doesn't have to be. It doesn't. The only thing I felt was wasteful in It's So Emma's snail trail was they have you make this great big block, that 4 patch in the center. And when you watch the video, you will see how much I'm trimming off. It's a lot. I get why, and I appreciate the assistance to make it more accurate. It really does help. But the low waist method, if you're really strapped on fabric and you want to use as little as possible, the low waist method works a lot better. So, all right, Sherry, Your wish will be my command. I will definitely do that. I think, but I'll use a whole block. Y'all will see. I will take one of the patterns that I've done, and I will just do the whole thing through with low waist method, so you can see how that whole thing works. And hopefully, if anybody's confused, it will make more sense. At any rate, that's what I have for today. What is next week? Next week is Christmas Eve. So if you'll notice, guys, well, obviously, I'm here by myself. So Michael and Melvin both had a setup today. And the framing machine that they're setting up is about a 6 or 7 hour setup. So it's pretty lengthy. So they weren't going to make it back. So that's why I'm by myself. Now, next week is Christmas Eve, and I'm going to tell y'all, we usually don't do a huge amount of business on Christmas Eve, but there is some. I mean, last minutes, right? I mean, oh my gosh, I ran out of thread. Is that not the worst thing when you're stitching or quilting along and you run out of the color thread that you were using? So we are open on Christmas Eve from 10 to 2, but because the sales are not huge by any stretch, I am going to be by myself. So I will be here with you guys next week for Christmas Eve. I think that's Christmas Eve, right? Wednesday? Yeah, that's right. Today's 17th. Okay. So I'll be here for your live on Christmas Eve. And I think we will talk about what's new. And I got to tell you, we got so much. We have things that came in today. We've had things that come in this week, last week, and then we have more coming on Friday. So I have plenty to share. So we will do that. Hey, Carol, glad to see you. Glad to see you. Welcome to Halo. So we'll do what's new next week, and I'll be here. And I think if Sherry is available, I don't know if she will be, because it is a holiday, so I might be by myself. I would never ask anybody to help me on a holiday. So I will be here for your entertainment, and we can talk about what's new and anything else that is on your brain. So until next time, guys, have a most fantabulous scrappy stars making. And until next time, may you all continue to be inspired, productive, ever so joyful, never stop believing, and never stop making your dreams in quilting come true. We love y'all. Happy quilting, happy hump day, whoop whoop, and happy fantabulous scrappy star making. I will see you all soon.